Power, Control, and Jealousy in Love. Chapter 1. Some people cannot be cool, they gotta dominate and control their love interest. The issue of power. All love is lost, terror succeeds. W.M. Blake, The Four Zoas. This book is basically about ego versus soul in love situations. Your ego tells you to get back at that person for disrespecting you even if it's your spouse. If you had a cast iron soul dedicated to love, you would squash your natural instinct to call her a mean, evil bitch and try to be nice no matter what. It's so hard. People are what they are. When they feel bad, many but not all are so low life that they respond to life with basic emotions, so they're feeling bad, they take it out on the most convenient scapegoat, their spouse. Most relationships aren't made up of love. They're just two average people who came together because they're lost souls thinking that a relationship will enhance their lives, but if you're messed up before you get into a relationship, chances are the relationship will not make you a loving person. Sometimes it does. Most of the time, a bitch is a bitch, a scummy guy will not change his spots. We all have our private lives in our minds and our public lives, which is often relegated to be loving and sociable to our main lover in the traditional monogamous relationship, but we're still all narcissists. The instinct of self-love is what protects us from danger and helps us live good healthy lives, but where is the point of compromise, of meeting the world and your lover halfway to give of yourself such that they give back to you? Whenever two people are involved together in any way at all, there's very rarely an equal friendship. There's self-love and self-preservation first, then the superiority complex that you're better than him or her qualitatively in some way, and the issue of power. You want to feel that you control this person somehow, either they're reverent and submissive to you because they know you're naturally that much more superior than them, because this is the way many people think in the privacy of their minds, that they're more superior and special than everyone else. And then there's the good, old capitalist standby, I have all the marbles and / or the biggest stick so I control you. The issue of power is at the opposite end of the spectrum from love. In a culture that promotes power via the ideology of competition and superiority in business, politics, the sports realm, and inherent within the capitalist ideal, is it any wonder that love takes a backseat? Boys are taught to achieve, compete, and win such that by 16 or 17, despite a few lingering friends here and there left after the innocence of youth goes, most become little islands, them against the world. This often extends into so-called loving relationships, the win at all costs ideology. Romantic love is sharing the beauty in your soul with the beauty in someone else, but we're conditioned to protect our little egos such that if we perceive that someone is attacking or belittling us, all bets are off. It's a threat that must be extinguished regardless of who it is. Beyond that is all the emptiness, inferiority, unfulfillment, anxiety, and anger a lot of frustrated people feel in this capitalist world in general, because they're not living the lives they once imagined for themselves, they've not fulfilled their potential the way they wanted to, probably stuck in some mundane job somewhere raising a few kids, making a big mortgage payment, all circumstances they didn't imagine for themselves, all causing anger and alienation within, which compounds the fact that they're powerless out in the world, answering to either a boss or customers, so they take it out on the most convenient scapegoat, the naive wife at home, and the kids, with good intentions trying to make it all nice being a mother, but the angry husband doesn't see that. He sees himself working his butt off while she's taking it easy at home, so the relationship is not equitable to him, so he resents her and lashes out in anger, trying to control her and hurt her to blow off steam and make himself feel superior and better somehow. You might think you're immune to the selfish power versus sharing love spectrum, but nobody is. The challenge of life is to try to stay loving, but when that fails, at least bite your lip when you feel like a skunk who has to get his just due to reduce his lover down to size. What will invariably happen is that you will lose it at some point, do something negative against your lover which you will regret immediately after, but not admit it to yourself, because your ego will tell you you're right, you have the right to exist as is, as a free being controlled by none, so you will alienate yourself from each other and either go along at this troubled reduced intimacy level or decide to try to stop it by admitting you're wrong, apologizing and striving for peaceful love. But Time makes us forgetful, so after a few months, another situation arises, we do it all over again, and this is the way it usually works unless you can culture a part of you that decides to be loving no matter what. Remember, your lover needs your love most when they're being an asshole, so if you can be loving during the worst times and they don't cross the line or do it too much, you can smooth things over. Obviously an equal loving sharing relationship is the best way to go, but in cases where one side constantly wields power over the other and probably will never change, although stranger things have happened, don't hold your breath. Leave an angry, destructive, controlling person bent on having power over you. Men seek to control their lives. Women were once relegated to be loving and fear abandonment, but nowadays the culture has hardened many and they're just as callous as men. The inherent nature of love has taken a hit because the culture has given us so many distractions that love only encompasses one part of life, ambivalent at best. A lot of couples are jealous if one is more successful, beautiful, popular, or sociable out in the world rather than celebrating their differences and supporting their lovers. It comes down to insecurity, inferiority, anxiety, and control. How much of the power struggle is caused by the old-fashioned battle of the sexes, the inherent differences between the sexes that causes a rift as wide as the Grand Canyon at times, coupled with modern-day feminism which makes some women sharks and barracudas, and that's another wedge in modern-day love, the girl's cynicism to being romanced because she thinks all men are dogs who want only one thing anyway. She's above all that as an independent entity fully capable of taking care of herself, so the guy shuts off and quits his attempts at the corny old romantic notions of chivalry. Maybe people expect too much in love. If you back off and live in your own bubble for a while, it takes the pressure away from being intertwined to your lover all the time, such that when you do get together, it's more relaxing and intimate than if you were around each other all the time discussing the trivial details, getting on each other's nerves. Familiarity breeds contempt. It's no good to be so close that you see each other's human weaknesses. Keep a comfortable distance via following your own identity, then come together for brief periods of intimacy here and there. In essence, men are trying to hold on to power over women. Some women are too extreme in their independence from men and criticism of them such that never the twain shall meet. On top of this, we have a culture that distracts us in the pursuit of wealth and power out in the world. There's a general erosion of the romantic ideal. Men are taught not to fail even if it means the sacrifice of romantic love. We want to control our lovers as we control our jobs and investment portfolios, and when we realize we can't, we turn off and probably abuse them, going into our own little fantasy worlds of love, sex, and romance, romantic novels, movies and soap operas for women, men's magazines, and porno films for men. After the neurotransmitters of the initial spray of fireworks wear off, you have to accept the ordinariness of each other but supplement it with brief times of excessive intimacy with abandon. We're all plain people, therefore don't be disappointed when you see a plain person standing there after the honeymoon period, but this is precisely what happens. Many people have no patience nor any conception of what a real loving relationship is. They've been brainwashed by the romantic images on TV, so if they don't have a scorcher all the time, they don't think it's worth it and turn off. We live in a violent, troubled world of abuse, cynicism, and divorce. To find a sanctuary of romance in the midst of all this is the grace and beauty of love, that you can't help loving your lover even when they mess up. That's the spirit of love that will keep you going, the belief and action of the old-fashioned traditional romantic ideal. The only solution is keep burying the hatchet over and over again as long as neither of you crosses the line into the unforgiving minute. Forgiveness is the elixir of sustained love. A good love affair is like a great symphony going through the phases of a great performance, sometimes fast and passionate, other times, slow, solitary and reflective, sometimes adventurous and high-spirited, sometimes romantic and loving, other times confused, disheveled, harried, a cacophony. Celebrate what's unique to you as an individual and as a couple, and don't just try to imitate the perception of love borrowed from your culture. Keep reaching for love without power. It's not about force, it's about loving because you want to, because they're worth it to you. The controlling person. If you love something, set it free. If it comes back to you, it's yours. If it doesn't, it never was. Don't put burdens on your partner or expect too much. Let them give of their own free will. Controlling people can be either men or women, although they're usually men. Controlling someone means you're out of control. It has its roots in insecurity and possible feelings of inferiority, meaning that you're so insecure and flimsy about yourself that you don't really feel that your lover loves you for you, or don't feel that you're a real human being on the inside who has something tangible to offer, so you overcompensate for this feeling by being controlling and jealous. Insecurity is a sign of weakness. Real people are self-assured enough to trust their lovers and love them enough to let them be themselves. True love is freedom and security. If you ever find yourself trying to control someone, look into yourself and see the ugliness. It's your problem, not theirs. You're insecure. You will either lose or alienate them. I'm a great believer in the hypothesis that when someone starts to try to control anyone, the person always reacts antagonistically, either in an active way or in a silent, passive way, either fuming inside or getting back at the person through what are called passive-aggressive means, which are things like the husband's supposed to paint the bathroom but he conveniently never gets around to it, the wife forgets the husband's coffee when she goes shopping, the husband comes home from work late, picks his wife up an hour late from choir practice, etc. These are all aggressive things done beneath the surface of superficial reality, such that they can be interpreted either way, as innocent mistakes or purposeful antagonism. It's called games people play, and there's a lot of it going around. The message is, don't play games. Clear the air of any antagonism there might be between the two of you. With the issue of control, we must simply follow a few basic rules. First, never ever try to control anybody, because it's a sin against life. A truly self-actualized person wants his lover to be the best she can be, so he encourages her to develop herself. He doesn't put a tight noose around her neck, as I've seen many jealous, insecure men do on TV talk shows. Let your partner be themselves. Ultimately, if you try to control them, they will either break down or leave you. For some people, it's all about control. The phrase constructive criticism is an oxymoron. All criticism is negative, so don't do it at all, especially don't give unsolicited advice. All you will get is resentment in return for presuming that your partner is that dumb that you had to stick your nose in and give her some of your bull. Remember the old phrase, no good deed goes unpunished. I'm not saying don't do good things for your spouse, but I'm saying don't stick your nose in when your partner is doing something unless they really want your help/advice. They have to stand on their own. You have to let them stand on their own and fail if they must, even if you see it coming. I don't believe in trying to change people except to help them find their own way. A smart person uses charm and tact to try to change a spouse's negative behavior. Consider the example of an overweight woman who smokes because she thinks it will keep her weight down. You don't just call her names and berate her all day long. You help her along. Tell her you want to grow old with her and want to be a happy, healthy, attractive couple. Then you start exercising with her, go to the supermarket, buy vegetables and grains, start cooking healthy meals, and you quietly buy her an exercise machine and some fitness books/videos and clothing. You buy her a dog so she has to take him out for walks. You buy her a Walkman so she can listen while she goes out for a walk. If she's a good wife, she will get your hints and try to change for the better because it's the right thing. Controller women. Marriage works best when we let our husbands be who they are. Motto of the Happy Wives Club. I saw a documentary on TV facetiously called The Happy Wives Club, about a dozen or so women in a support group because they were too masculine, too controlling, too trivial, too complaining, too whiny, too nitpicky, and too manipulative with their husbands. The chairwoman of the group, herself a controller wife, basically said you have to go back to traditional values and let the husband play his little life games freely. Just be there to support him. As part of their self-treatment, the women all had camcorders and recorded themselves talking about their moods every day and how they were trying to be better wives. Then they looked at them later and analyzed them. If you're an impatient, controlling woman, try to let things go, to not be so serious all the time. They give a big psychobabble spiel that you developed this armor because you were hurt as a kid when you trusted people who let you down like your parents, so now you act aggressively to give you control of the situation while alienating everybody in the process. But maybe this is subconsciously what you want, to be at arm's length away from people, to be perceived as a bitch so no one will try to get too close. Learn to be vulnerable. Tell him he makes you happy. Think of his good points, don't dwell on his bad points. Thank him for being good at whatever it is he's good at. Love, revere, and adore him. Agree with his ideas. Act as though you trust him even if you don't. Make him feel special. Allow him to be your knight in shining armor. Believe that your man wants you to be happy and let him know it. Control freak in life and sex. The easiest way to alienate someone is to tell them what to do. Act like you're superior, like you know what's right for them better than they know themselves, to simply assume you're the boss. You say things and people must follow. You can attract a wimp who will go along with you for a while because he or she has no self-respect, but sooner or later they will probably see the light and leave. If they don't, then you got a hell of a stupid, disgusting relationship. The thing to do is to suggest things subtly or talk about something, then wait for him to bring it up later, making him think it's his idea. You get him to do things by showing him what's in it for him. Make it seem like more of a team friend thing rather than boss servant. If you buy a sex toy and insist that he use it on you, that's too direct. Just lay it on the shelf or on the bed or have sex first, then bring it out. Show what you want by printing out the section of this book or getting a sex video and leaving it around to watch. You get more by smiling, showing, and doing than by telling. If you want something done on you, do it to him first, like a massage, oral sex, etc. Turn your lover on first to get what you want. Chapter 2. Dante recognized jealousy as one of his 7 deadly sins. Jealousy in Love Info. Learn to control your jealousy. Jealousy shows you care. Love is patient, love is kind and is not jealous. 1 Corinthians 13:4. A sound heart is the life of the body, but envy the rottenness of the bones. Proverbs 14:30. Jealousy does more harm than witchcraft. German proverb. Jealousy in romance is like salt in food. A little can enhance the savor, but too much can spoil their pleasure. Maya Angelou, wouldn't take nothing for my journey now, 1993. For love is strong as death, jealousy cruel as hell. It blazes like the blazing fire, fiercer than any flame. Song of Solomon 8:6. Peace of mind makes a body healthy, but jealousy is like a cancer. Proverbs 14:30. He who is not jealous is not in love. Saint Augustine. Love that survives jealousy is like a pretty face after smallpox, a bit pockmarked forever after. Paul Bourget. Jealousy is a kind of fear related to a desire to preserve a possession. Descartes. Jealousy is the hydra of calamities, the sevenfold of death. Edward Young, The Revenge. Jealousy is an expression of insecurity and the desire to control the situation. Weak, powerless people are the ones who get the most jealous. Strong, self-assured people shouldn't get jealous, firstly because they feel the relationship is strong, or at least it should be, and secondly, if your spouse or lover is out there being swayed by someone else, let them. It's their life. You can't control it. If she decides to go with someone else, let her. Good riddance. It's a sign from the gods that she is not your soulmate. Jealousy is irrational, which is why it's dangerous. Jealousy is ownership. You feel you own someone exclusively. It's just not good karma. You cannot own another person or control them. What your spouse does is her life. If she reaches a point where she flirts with others or falls for them, you could fight to win her back by being nice, or you could let her be, accept what she does and go from there. If she flirts with others, ask her straight up if she wants a divorce. If she falls for another guy, don't get angry. Do the logical thing, get a divorce. Why stay with someone like that? Jealousy is considered an unattractive emotion, but virtually all of us have it within us. The trick to dealing with it is to acknowledge it when you feel yourself experiencing it but refuse to let it consume you. Jealousy is instinct, a kind of sperm competition for men like you mess with the girl I'm gonna impregnate, you're a threat to me passing off my genes so I hurt you to eliminate the threat. Often, because the guy is big and bad, the jealous boyfriend or husband won't take his anger out on him but wait until he gets home, then lets the doll have it. Jealousy has been sometimes cited as the #1 reason for domestic violence. Jealousy is anger, anger is loss of control. Someone has interfered with your comfort level, disrupted your little world, and in the case of romance, something has come between you and that love that you thought was so secure. Usually, it's another more alpha type person than you who's a threat. Maybe they're more beautiful, have more money, more fun with your lover, etc. You can be jealous of other things too. If your girl spends too much with the kids or her girlfriends, you could get jealous of that. Just remember, a bit of jealousy is good, like if she gets a lot of attention from men out in public, it should be flattering to you because it shows you're a good hunter, and if the relationship is secure, you shouldn't worry about it because you know he or she loves only you. Jealousy is generally the fear or threat that someone is taking away what you own, which is distinct from envy, which is defined as having a general ill will for somebody who has more possessions than you or is better than you in some way. Girls generally like to play guys off each other, so they get jealous and fight each other, thus feeding her ego and desire for power over men. Women get jealous too. Rudyard Kipling said, "The female of the species is more deadly than the male." There was a case in Kingston, Jamaica, where some young tart was prancing around town. She caught the eye of some guy who charmed her. Then when she was walking down the street one day, she felt a tap on her shoulder and turned around to see this guy's wife throw a bucket of acid and gas on her, which led to several years of painful skin graft surgeries. Women are more monogamous than men, so when he strays, they will often blame the girl he's straying with, get her back or get him back, as in the case of Laura and Wayne Bobbitt with the penis cutting episode. The Muslims have solved their jealousy problem, at least for the men. If the wife is thought to have cheated, the husband has free rein to kill her and her lover to preserve his honor. He's rarely prosecuted, and if he is, he does a few months in jail. We in what we call civilized society are very one-dimensional. We call jealousy a negative emotion that must be repressed, so that's where we leave it, seething beneath the surface until it makes us explode, whereas in reality, it's an instinct, it's who we are, we can't help it. And contrary to the theory that says healthy people with high self-esteem don't get jealous because they're secure in their love, this is a lie, because jealousy is primal. If we see someone flirting with our girl or guy and him or her apparently enjoying it, if you don't get your dander up, you're not a full human being. It's a self-protection thing, mess with my stuff and I kill you. It's basic survival from our evolutionary past. Jealousy helps you protect what's yours. It even helps mix the gene pool, because a lot of girls cheat with the express intention of getting their husbands jealous. Evidence shows they cheat more when they're ovulating and have sex more with their husbands when they're not, so it's a spreading of the genes thing via some evolutionary instinct no one really understands. Jealousy to a certain point is good to protect the relationship, but it often leads to momentary bursts of violence which land the victim in a hospital or dead and the perpetrator in jail for a momentary episode of jealousy, just like the Shakespeare character Othello, the poster boy for jealousy, so jealous that it drove him crazy. Love without jealousy is not true love. Some jealousy is good. Too much is bad. It will rob you of all your energy and possibly destroy your relationship. Jealousy is good when it helps you recognize that you have a love problem and agree to work on it. It can also add intensity and excitement to the relationship and lead to great sex. The psychobablists say jealousy goes back to when you were a kid and felt that others were threatening the exclusive relationship you thought you had with your parents, often your brothers and sisters. Get a control of your emotions. Try to understand why you're feeling these emotions, then set out to minimize or solve what's causing them. Try to be positive as opposed to negative. Make an attempt to treat the object of your jealousy with more respect. I say develop a strong identity, and if whoever you happen to be involved with wants to go off and mess around with someone else, let them go permanently. You don't own anyone. If they're not with you of their own free will, it's not love. If they're playing with you by flirting around looking to test your love for them, they're toying with your emotions and not worth it. It goes back to this rigid one man, one woman lifetime ownership thing. You don't have to live that way. If they wanna mess around, so can you, no big deal if you look at it like that, as an open relationship. Jealousy, in general, means zeal, an intensity of emotion directed at someone you don't like who seems to be winning more at life than you. Love jealousy is a reaction to the perceived threat of losing your lover to someone else. The more you've been betrayed in love, generally the more possessive and jealous you get. Jealousy is often way overdramatic and often violent, so if somebody's giving you attention and your husband seems irked, better cool it for a bit because he could be blowing it all out of proportion in his head. People get killed over jealousy that lead to crimes of passion. It is said to be a delusional emotion which leads to a delusional crime. Remember, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, and scorned women are women who believe someone else is competing for their man, so watch out if your girl feels that you're cheating. Even though the jealous one often kills his or her lover, the target is often the lover's new lover too, guys killing their ex-girlfriends' new boyfriends or beating them badly, then sometimes going back and finishing their lovers off. It often happens when the jealous person catches them both together, like in the same bed at her house. Jealousy can degenerate from mild anger to delusion to paranoia to desperation and lead to spontaneous, quick violent acts, which is why you should take all acts of jealousy seriously and don't provoke your lover. Leave to cool off for a while if you must. Look at jealousy as a relationship issue. It means that the relationship is off, that the two of you together aren't doing so well, so you have to face each other, talk it out, and either bond more or split up. Depression is the flip side of anger. Women tend to get depressed, keep it all in, even forgive the guy more until they snap, then the old scorned woman things kicks in. Once a woman crosses the line when she realizes the guy is a skunk, the love is gone, she's over him and the guy can't play cutesy anymore and get away with it like he used to. This is the thing about girls in general. They can take a lot in the time of love, but when they've taken enough, it's like a switch going off. They're over the guy and he'd better get out of there if he knows what's good for him. Even swingers, people in polygamous groups and people in open marriages get jealous, so it's there, we can't deny it. It's got something to do with our thoughts of possessing other people, of being exclusive with them, which comes back on us. We think we're special, we think they're special, and we think the two of us are special and so unique that it will be only us two forever. But I've said many times in this book that there are plenty of soulmates for each of us, and on a more carnal level, any attractive healthy person will do so. Maybe this monogamy, exclusivity thing is a bit way overblown in society, along with the macho thing that the guy owns the girl, and if anyone threatens this, he has to respond by the unspoken code of one-dimensional macho manhood. You see it all the time. A girl gets mad at her boyfriend, so goes off to flirt with some beta male to get her guy jealous. He comes over, beats the guy up, she's secretly happy that he cares about her enough to beat this other guy up, and they go off together. Girls like to get guys jealous to test their love for them. After quietly observing a lot of couples go through their paces of life, I've concluded that true love is a rare commodity. I've realized that so many people are caught up in the trivial, material world that they can't stop long enough to sit with their lovers quietly to enjoy them and really get to know them. Very few couples truly know each other. They may know the superficials but don't know the deep stuff, as is evident by any survey you come across about couples' perceptions of each other. This has led me to conclude that many couples are individuals living in the same house, and because they're low-level creatures of ego, they're in silent competition with each other, often getting jealous for mundane reasons such as one hanging out with friends more, one buying a new cell phone, driving a better car, earning more money, winning an award, getting a promotion at work, etc. It's like the same sibling rivalry they had with their brothers and sisters. They never grew up. Couples typically get more jealous of each other in mundane things than they get jealous of other people coming in to threaten the relationship. The media encourages the self-me/superstar concept, so ego can easily creep into a relationship at any time where one or the other has a big head and can't let the other feel better, look better, get more attention, achieve more, etc. There's a lot of jealousy going on between couples. It could be that one of the couple is on such an ego trip that his ego is more important than his love for her, so he does his stupid ego things until he loses her. To expect that someone is ours exclusively is a naive delusion left over from early childhood. Nevertheless, many of us get bent out of shape when our spouse spends time with another person of the opposite gender, particularly if he/she's enjoying it. Some jealousy is good to keep us trying at love and revving up our sexual engines, but it's destructive if it goes too far. Some ways to deal with jealousy are: relax, don't take it all so hard. Check out the threat to see if it's real or all in your head. If the threat is real, maybe you're not her soulmate in the first place if she's gonna trade you in for either a fling or for good, so cut your losses now. Be a great lover to your partner. Don't try to make her feel guilty for making you jealous. Don't beat on her and cramp her style to try to control her. Don't go for sweet revenge. Eliminate her, get out of the relationship. The best way to deal with jealousy is to forget it. It's the old saying, if she loves you, she's yours. If she doesn't, she never was. Love is not jealousy. In true love, the people know and trust each other, so there shouldn't be any problems when you see her talking to other guys or vice versa. Jealousy websites. Try #152.48 or BF575 at the library for books about jealousy. all-about-jealousy.com. allaboutLifeChallenges.org/overcoming-jealousy.htm. angelfire.com/ak/wanderinghawk/stories/star10.html, Jealous Love by Starhawk. bible.cc/1_Corinthians/13-4.htm. Christians-in-recovery.org/bible/studies/zealous-or-jealous-o'hare.html. dealingwithjealousy.com. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/jealousy. fairyland.org/what's_happening/2_month_calendar.htm, love story. getjealous.com. selfesteem4women.com, everything a woman needs to overcome jealousy and in